Greetings folks, this video is going to be a follow-up to the video I posted a few weeks ago where I actually built these two mousetrap boxes. In this video I'm going to talk about four things: what worked, what didn't work, what I'm going to do differently the next time I make a few of these, and a handful of general tips that are going to make these even more effective than they already are. Watching the first video will explain all of the construction stuff, but they're not really complicated. These are all just literally old parts sitting around the house. So let's get to it. And I'm just going to answer the big question right off the bat. Do these actually work? Yes, they do. These trap boxes have been more effective and less work than any other method I've used for catching mice. What I'm going to do now is I'll talk about some of the differences in these two boxes. So when I built these, I built two different models. I built the standard one, which is the Eliot Coleman design, which has a hole on one side and then directly across from it another hole. This trap box over here has the holes diagonally opposed. This one here, which is the standard design, has worked far better than this one over here. I am like maybe 4 or 5 times better. But yeah, with this one you can actually tell because it's that, at one point I came out and I've dumped some of it out, but there were a lot more maple seeds and other seeds, like, a mouse had been using this as a storage compartment and not a trap box. And that's really, I don't want them setting up a house in these things. I want them getting caught in the trap so they don't get any bright ideas about coming into the house. The concept, however, is quite sound. They do go in here. I've never had these baited, and frankly, baiting traps, if you have mice, is a pain in the neck. And it's not uncommon to come out and find the trap sprung, completely licked clean of bait. And now you have to rebait it, put it back in its place, and quite possibly come back out and find it empty again. When I make more of these, I'm going to make all of them with the holes that are just directly across from one another like this. One of the other things I did differently when I made these is I made the tops really heavy out of this 2x lumber that actually was from an old cold frame lid that had been sitting around the yard for a while. That I would do again on every single one of them. It has added a really nice extra amount of heft. One day where I came out and found one of these whole boxes had moved, I don't know, a foot or two from where it originally was, so something bigger, a squirrel or something, had gotten itself into the trap and yanked it around. The lid stayed on. The other nice thing is, and you push these things out, you get them to settle down, they just settle right down in there. They've got enough weight to just sit on there. These things just keep it from sliding around. The extra heft is nice to have. These larger handles, as opposed to having just one little knob in the top or just like a piece of these are terrific. Especially if you've got gloves on, you can grab them and just pick them off. Also, would I ever assemble these things with something more secure than nails? No, why bother? Don't really see a reason to do that. These nails have held well, and frankly, given that they're made out of old wood that's kind of mildewy and in some cases actually rotting, there's no point in making a fine project out of these. They are, after all, mousetrap boxes. Using old scrap wood has been quite effective with these things. In fact, it would be a pallet project if you were so inclined. You could tear apart old pallets and probably use them quite effectively and for no money most of the time to make boxes like this. I used a number 4 box nails on all these, and I did show that in the other video, and I'll put a link to that down below. The nails are a little thinner, but they still have a decent sized head. I would recommend using these. Finished nails I think would eventually pull out, and regular framing nails, even if they're only 4-penny nails like these, are thick enough. They're going to be much more likely to split the wood, and as it was, I drilled pilot holes for all of these things. That's definitely something I would also do, because this wood has proven pretty likely to split. A couple other things that I wasn't super careful with. If you can see here, there's a piece of the original wood that fell. See if I can get that closer to the camera. Right along here, there's actually a piece that came out, and you can see over here that actually fell out when I was putting it together. Some of that stuff I'm going to have to go through and cover up. Because what happens in these is that the mice have seemed to be traversing this diagonal. They seem to want to, they're going to try to go over the trap, which means they're going to go diagonally, and I think I might actually put another piece of wood right here to try to block that and make it so that they're going to have to go over the trap. The other thing along those lines is that you see this hole here is actually kind of tall. When I make more of these, I'm going to try making them and making the holes shorter, because it's always, it would appear is that the mice come in, they jump over one trap and actually end up walking over the other. And I figure if this was a little lower, they'd have to do a little bit more work to get in. And now that I think about it, I can probably just put a small piece of wood over that and make it lower that way. I'm definitely making more of these, but when I do that, I'm going to make sure I don't have any of these open. Now this can all be fixed, but I'm going to have any of this open. I think I'm going to lower this And I'm going to put a little bit of a block here to keep them from jumping or going over the diagonal, and we'll see how that works. When you make these things, you use these traps that are easy to reset, like that. And you can see the mice have actually chewed the plastic clean off of this one, but having those traps that are easy to reset, basically when there's something in there, all you have to do is come by, pull this back. You never have to touch the mouse, shake the... So you basically, if there's something caught, you can come by, open the trap enough, shake whatever's loose, let it close, because if there's still a mouse sitting on here, you're not ever going to get it shut. And then what I do is I pick them up with these dog poop bags. This is just the earth-rated brand. They're a little thicker, and some of the really thin ones can be hard to get open. These I like better than the others. And if you have a dog, you probably already have poop bags. That way you never have to touch the mice. Basically what I do with these, you come by once a day. So I come by once a day, lift the lid off, there's something in there, I clean it out, reset the traps, and move on. There's no rebaiting, there's no screwing around, and if you don't get anything, you don't have to do anything, just leave it sit. This is an easy project, well within the reach of really anybody. You certainly don't have to have a great deal of woodworking skill to do that. Basically, you need a hammer, a saw, and a drill. That's it, and some nails and some old wood. I'm definitely going to make several more of these things. I will try some of those other modifications, and then once I've had a chance to try that, I'll make yet another video. Well, folks, thank you for watching, and if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and watch another video. All three of those things help me to keep making videos. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.